Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerds at Large Anime Gauntlet. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerds at Large Spring 2021. That means we have every week. I am one of your hosts, Jeff Mayo. This is Darby Hallman, and across the interwebs, we have Alex Boo.
I am a Saiyan from Earth.
Whoa.
I'm going to run out of animes to do that with.
There are a lot of anime,
One Piece,
Alex.
And then, yeah, but I'm going to run out of, like, iconic, like, just lines like that.
I had potato chip week 1, and that's all I got.
Yeah, I did One Piece, and then I did Naruto, and now I just did Dragon Ball.
Just
I think
Google-
those are all the anime.
Google dumbest anime quotes and just read one of those at the start of every episode.
Okay. Here. We'll restart the episode, obviously,
Okay,
right now.
okay. All right.
Just redo everything.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We're really...
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerds at Large Anime Gauntlet Spring 2021, Episode 3. I am one of your hosts, Jeff Mayo. This is Darby Hallman, and across the internet, we have Alex Boone.
Well, Google just crashed on my end, so I don't have it.
Darn.
That was just one chance. You have another shot next, or that can be the closer. That'll be the closer. Is Alex?
We're gonna forget.
Yeah.
If you die, don't come crying about it. I don't know which anime that's from. That was just the first one that was on here.
Yeah, my favorite.
Shoot her to death about killing her. That was the second quote, and also it doesn't have an anime attached.
Shame. I guess if you haven't watched the show before, this is a show where we watch anime, talk about them, and potentially kill them.
Yes, by pushing them off the edge.
Yes, we scar them.
Yeah. They just keep falling off this daggum cliff.
Every week, they always fall, and it's up to us to either let them up or we just let them fall to their death. Actually, we don't let them, we force them off. We don't want the chance of them getting up by their own power. We're savages like that.
Jeff's mic went out for a second.
Oh?
Is it good now? It looks good.
Hello?
It might be good. Yes, it's back.
Okay. And at least for this week, we'll see how consistently I can do this. If I have motivation, time, inspiration, etc., etc. I have little summaries that I have written for every episode that we were talking about.
Ooh.
All 11 of our 9 animes.
Did you say all 11 of our 9 anime?
Yeah, all 11 episodes.
There is 11
Oh,
episodes.
okay. That kind of broke my brain for a second. I'm sorry. My little pea brain could not comprehend
Yeah,
that.
so I think let's get right into it, fellas.
All right. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think Jeff went out again.
Hello?
Sag.
Yeah. It's all part of the process, folks. Just like part of the process is watching 86.
We sure did.
Yep. And during episode 3 of 86, the Spearhead Squadron may be considered less than human, but at least they get their own anime bath scene filled with everything you need. Guys peeping, guys getting caught, and the girls beating up the guys. Afterwards, Lena has her nightly chat with the squad, and while most are still cold towards Lena, Kaie starts taking an interest in her. Too bad she dies during the next mission. But while Lena sends her condolences, Theo decides to roast her ass about her hypocrisy. So yeah, let's see if we want this still.
I forgot we have to do this first.
Yeah.
Let's start discussing. Roast her ass. All right,
Alex.
Well, I am clearly picking up the major by her hands, pulling her up, and being like, "Just don't do a bath scene again, and we're all good. We're all good. Everything else is great."
Just a warning, just that one warning, you know.
Yeah, pretty much the same general thoughts there. It's like that scene would start like, oh boy. I mean, I'm happy with the general way of getting personality for these guys. At least some stuff from their characters, because they're a bunch of nameless goons up to this point.
Yeah.
But they could have done it better. But and I guess I will at least say, to its credit, as far as the bath scene go, it was more tasteful than 99% of other anime bath scenes. But it's still an anime bath scene.
It was certainly very cringy, and it certainly did feel like, oh, we're just watching a different show now. And this was like one thing that I, as someone who very outside of anime, always hated about anime I saw, is that like it would just suddenly seem like a scene was just made by different writers, or it was just like, oh, we have to do this very bad anime trope, or whatever. We have to do this bath scene. We have to do the guys are peeping on the girls and everything. So like, yeah, when it started out that way, I was like, fucking oof. Especially, I'm sure you guys knew that I would be immediately kind of turned off by that whole scene. But I have to say, I think it's a testament to the show that despite that, I think the ending was so damn good that this is like close to being my favorite episode of the week just for that ending. I think that whole ending scene was
the best
fucking
scene,
incredible.
Probably about a third of the episode? Maybe a little third to a half, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly.
And luckily, it wasn't really focusing on the girls, just them running around splashing. It was more focused on their personalities, at least, as well, just introducing everyone and the guys. At least it wasn't focus on being like, look at the naked women, look at them.
And they were
them.
pretty clothed for these.
Yeah,
that's why I
they're
say more
basically like
tasteful.
bathing suits, like.
It did its job. I think there was better ways to do it, but it did its job where, like, by the time you got to the end of that show, you had seen a lot of the, like, relationship and the lightheartedness between these people or whatever, and you saw our main lady, which I still don't know her name. Lena trying to, like, fit in, or trying to, act like she's one of them or whatever. So, like, I think it worked, and everything after that was, like that was the most troubling thing, is like they've already done a pretty good job of like having these characters feel believable and feel like young people hanging out or whatever in this terrible situation. They didn't really need that necessarily, but I agree with that. It was over and done with, and it more or less accomplished its purpose, which led us crescendo to that ending, which I think was incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't really think about like, she was trying to be nice in the anime way. It's like, yeah, she's the good-hearted person. And then when apparently Theo's his name went in on her, I'm like, damn, he brings up some points that probably even she didn't really think about. And she's kind of, she took his heart. It's like, well, I mean, we'll see. Probably like, he's kind of right.
Yeah, I mean, and it touches. I mean, maybe this is me reading into it too much or whatever, but like. It kind of made me think about even like racial stuff and stuff in this country, where like, we can easily, you can get into the mindset that you're like an ally and you're a good person to all this or whatever, because you're surrounded by bigots and terrible people. It's like, no, I'm not like them, so I'm good or whatever, and you start to almost like build this moral high ground for yourself because you're not like them or whatever. And I thought that was like a very powerful and strong thing, where it's like. No, we don't think that you're some angel just because you're not a horrible, godless, racist homicide person or whatever. It's like, yeah, I don't know, because like she definitely, whether she knew it or not, you could tell like she thinks that she's better, like, or that she's like should be loved by these people because she's treating them with like slightly
decency,
with like the bare minimum of decency. So she thinks that, like, subconsciously she thinks that there's definitely an air of superiority in that relationship, whether she means to or not. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just the voice acting in that scene, like, I definitely had big goosebumps in that whole ending monologue.
This show might have the best sound design of any anime we're watching. I believe it does. Just like the sounds of like the music and everything, like the mechs, everything. Just like that final scene was just like perfect with the lead up.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I was saying that from episode 1 with the everything just sounds big and everything. But again, I am very impressed. I just really did not expect to be this invested in like the actual story beats and the characters of 86. I thought if anything, this would just be kind of like fun action. But
Yeah, and I've definitely, as we've been saying, they're going into just the politics stuff, then more, cool war action stuff. Kind of add a little bit to it.
But it's still like a small enough story. Like it's like big. What's happening is big, but I kind of like that we're like focused on like the relationships between these people. And I even like her relationship with her friend there, whatever. Like I think it's kind of interesting to see. Like her friend doesn't seem like a bad person, but she's not questioning the society as much as Lena is or whatever. But it's interesting because you'll see, just like they do in a lot of things like this, you'll see that not all the white-haired people are bad people, like they said in the show, just like not all the 86 are good people. And I don't know, like the dynamics here are very interesting, even if it's and I've just been impressed with the writing and especially the voice acting.
Well,
Yep.
see where it goes from here. Okay, guys, time for everyone's favorite show. Joran.
Hell yeah. Oh, never mind.
Okay, so we had 2 episodes to watch here, and I got summaries for both. Episode 4. Yuki goes to save Asahi from Jahome, but is ambushed by suicide bomber dogs and captured by Makoto. Now captured, Jahome takes Yuki's blood to complete his transformation into the Hydra. But Makoto reveals she's actually a triple agent. She frees Yuki and they kill Jahome. Oh yeah, and Yuki brother's alive in there too. Episode 5. In the series finale, Yuki's brother, but he sacrificed himself and is crushed to death. Finally getting her revenge, Yuki has PTSD and has lost her meaning in life. Also, Elena is pregnant and granted permission to leave the super secret Ishida organization. Except not really. They kill her and her lover/stalker and make it look like a murder suicide. Yuki wants to leave this life and Asahi offers her a solution to weigh poison. As Yuki starts to pass out and outside die, Asahi mentions something about her being reborn. Setting up Joran's Isekai spin-off.
You went out, Jeff, for a second. You're completely out.
Oh no!
I need to use back in.
Now you're back.
Did you miss my ending?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll read the last sentence because I like it. As Yuki starts to pass out die, Asahi mentions something about her being reborn. Setting up Joran's Isekai spinoff.
Yeah.
What if the rest of the show is just like
What if she's actually reborn?
Okay, guys, get your signs ready. Time to figure out what's going to happen.
I wonder.
Well, let me just start and lean into it because I think we know. I'm scarring it. Too bad we're not going to find out if she's actually reborn or what the hell happened because I assume we're all scarring it.
Well, no, I'm actually saving her, but then stabbing her to push her back off the cliff.
Okay.
But then pulling her back up, and healing the wound to stab her again, to heal it, to give her poison, to throw her off the cliff.
All right.
With a net underneath that didn't burn the net and she falls to death.
So how do you feel, Alex?
Those were the 2 episodes.
He triple agent. Why is people double crossing to double cross to double cross?
I don't think we even know who Makoto technically works for.
No, we don't.
And she leaves?
Yeah, it legitimately almost feels like they were listening to Alex complain about like how many different things are going on, like he was talking about last week, and how many like double cross and like things are changing. And they're like, okay, let's just do that like 3 times. It's comical almost at this point. It's a comedy. This is a comedy.
The amount of reveals they have per episode that just don't hit because they're constantly doing them. Like, your brother's alive, and it's just like, sure, of course he is, of course, and he's dead. And within that same amount of time, he's dead. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Am I the only one that like? I wonder if y'all feel the same way. I don't know why exactly. But the whole thing with her daughter, not daughter, who like they love each other but also want to kill each other.
She doesn't want to kill her.
Yeah.
But
the girl wants to kill her even though she loves her or whatever. That whole plot line just pisses me off, and I don't know why. Every time they do that, they're hugging and loving each other, but it's like, all right, but I'm really gonna kill you next time. It just makes me like irrationally angry.
I've seen that stuff done far better. Just the whole idea,
Yeah.
the whole, and when that plotline was introduced, like, okay, this is actually interesting. Back in episode 2 or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, she did kill her, and the little girl does want to get revenge, but they're kind of living life like, okay, where is this going? Because again, that could be something interesting. They just went really nowhere with it, and like what you're pretty much describing is very confusing with it.
Yeah.
Messaging with the girl, and she's a little girl, so it's not like she's a little girl, so she shouldn't have as much mixed emotions as she's having. But it doesn't even seem mixed in a way. It's weird.
It's kind of black and white in a way. It's like she's one way and she's the other. Like she is two diametrically opposed things, and she's like the most hardcore in both of them.
It's like
really
she doesn't actually want to kill her, but the plot demands that she kind of wants to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Alex?
No. I really don't want to say anything about this show because, like, I don't even know. There's no words to describe how just aggravated I am. Not necessarily with the girl trying to kill her. That's whatever. That could be cool. It honestly could be a cool plot line if it wasn't like a 180 in personality within like 5 seconds of each other being like, take the poison. No! How could you be dying? Even though I just gave you poison. It's like, oh my god.
And also, the whole snake boss fight was not even cool. Like the fighting animation was like really lame.
Well, and I mean, it'd be one of those things where if things were actually interesting, it'd be a cool thing to see where it go, where she got her actual goal done quickly. But nothing they've done for this show makes you actually care for any of these things. Like the main character's goal's done. In her two partners, one lost an arm, is apparently leaving, and the other one just died. They just decided to kill her because she was pregnant or something. I don't even get the whole thing. Like, oh, we're gonna let you leave. Oh no, we're not. And it's like, why let her believe what? Okay, like what's the point?
Why not just kill her there?
And yeah, so why exactly did lady who was presenting as a man like suddenly want to start killing? Like he was like led her in there and did this, and then now when the snakes are out,
save her while she was in there as well.
He wanted to save her once like the giant snake monster that's obviously very dangerous. Like what? Like.
So
do we quite understand why the change of heart or why
my general thing is that she's
another organization.
Yeah, and she seems generally fascinated with Yuki. But
that's the worst answer.
I mean, it seems to be the answer.
I know.
It's a terrible one. But it's the only thing I can get out of it. Yeah, besides the whole, that was the plan all along because she's actually working for another organization or whatever shit.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Joran. You went from last week. I said like it's not bad. It's just not interesting. I think it's bad now. I wanted these 2 episodes to be done so much. Like it was, no, thank you.
Well, time to move on to Megalo Box Nomad.
A show that's just as bad, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. We're gonna scar this thing like Joe's face.
No.
Got him. So here's the thing I got for Megalo Box Nomad episode 4. After the fire, Chief is preparing for his final fight. In frustration, Mia runs away. But after some quick self-reflection, he goes to Chief's match, actually. Chief's opponent, Mamiya, is a big cheater and continually hits him in the back of the head. Despite all this, Chief is victorious, and the land now belongs to him and his people. Everyone celebrates, but after suffering a concussion, Chief passes away in his sleep. Joe decides to keep his promise to Chief and head home to face his past.
Damn.
Probably one of the most straightforward ones I've had.
Literally. Oh, wait, sorry.
Yeah.
We're saving this. We're saving it. We're all saving this. Yeah, come on. I was like literally in the middle of the episode. I was like, hey, Jeff, we're actually going to have a happy ending to this one.
No. All right, Chief. You were a real one.
I already knew as soon as he got hit in the back of the head and they showed him after the round, he was like dazed. It's like, okay, he has a concussion. It's like, is he actually going to win this? And also,
Yeah.
when he wins, I'm just like, okay, he clearly has a concussion. They just are just not addressing it. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and I think they were kind of messy.
Maybe it'll just. I was like thinking, it's like, oh, maybe they'll just do some stuff where he's just like, oh yeah, having headaches, whatever. Then he's, whenever he's going home and they start doing the reflection things, like, it's probably going to die. And he's like, Joe, I'm afraid to go to sleep. It's like, yeah, he's fucking dead. He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
So sad. But like, it's again, this is the exact opposite. I mean, and they're both great, but this is the exact opposite thing from the first show. I think we were all saying you can see exactly where the show is going, but it's really fun or whatever. And like, it's fun to see them get there, but you know exactly where they're going. We were all saying last week that Chief might be the main character of the show and like go all the way to the end or whatever. That was definitely something we thought like
could happen.
Absolutely could happen.
Yeah.
And then very next episode, he's gone.
No, that's kind of fun thing about this is, it is a complete turn from the first season. This one, I think so far this season, obviously more depressing and sad and everything, and much more fast paced, but it's still so good.
It is incredible. It really is. It really is. I mean, and like you can already see a like huge monumental change in Joe or whatever, and like it feels very, very earned. And you can like the fact that the Chief arc is going to be one part of this journey is pretty incredible.
I mean, this is barely a third of the season. There are 13 episodes in this season. Yeah. We still have 9 more.
Right. And I have no clue. I really don't know where we're going. We still don't really know what happened to Pops and like.
It's also like, what is going to be the climax of this season? Because obviously we knew what it was going to be last season, very early on. This is like, we know he's going back to talk to people, but where's that leading? Is he going to get on the big ring again?
My guess, the ending is going to be him rematching against the
Yuri student.
Yuri student. That's my guess at the beginning of the from episode 1. I kind of started doubting that once Chief started becoming a bigger focus, but I still believe that's probably the ending. Like the big fight against Yuri.
Yeah, I mean the fact that Megalonia or whatever has been mentioned once, like literally one time in this whole thing so far. Very different than obviously the first one. It was like that was the very obvious main goal. Like I think it's gonna be one of those things that's like, we'll probably end up there, but that's gonna feel like secondary to the plot. You know, like I think the plot will be that will just kind of be a tool that is used for the plot or whatever. I'm at least hoping when it gets to that point, because so far, like Chief's motivations were like very, very strong, and with them showing just both sides of the immigrants and then the people who are like harassing them and everything, like you completely bought into and understood Chief's motivations, and it made, again, I love season 1, but it makes Joe's motivation seem kind of like simple or whatever. It's like, okay, he just wants to win this big tournament. Like Chief is trying to save his people, you know. It's like, it's just the character motivations in this show is like really, really strong right now. And the goddamn music.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. It's really good. It's so different. Like the first one was a lot of like rock, kind of like classic rock type thing. This has a lot of like Spanish guitar and interesting. It's a very different, very, very different tone, but it works so well. It works really, really well. Yeah. Loving the show.
So good. Yeah, it's one of the things, like, I noticed where timestamps last week, we talked notes about the shows we loved for the most part. This one seems relatively short, partly because not too much technically happens episode, but all great, and we just had no idea what's happening.
Yeah, but I am. It was good to see, like cool boxing match though. Again, I feel like hadn't gotten too much of that this time around, and they
kind of had that season 1, and then the next 2 episodes were kind of just like him and Chief, obviously.
Yeah, with a little kind of boxing segments there for obviously to get to the finals.
Yeah, Which I'm fine with it being more sparse, because obviously, I mean, even in season 1, it got to the point where I'm like, all right, yep, another match. But but it was cool because we hadn't seen it for a while. It was cool to see, and it was cool to see Chief kind of has a different style. He's more of a heavy puncher guy, whereas Joe's like zipping around. I mean, I think they do a good job of making that stuff feel epic and feel cool.
And now Joe has Chief's arms.
Yeah.
I was just about to mention that in this poster, is he wearing Chief's arms right now? I think he is. I believe he is.
I can make it bigger. Well, can I make it bigger? I can't make it that much bigger. Oh yeah, I can kind of. He might be.
I think he was wearing them the entire time. I think he was wearing them the entire time. You just couldn't tell.
That's the stripes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have known.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now.
Does he have the stripes? I think that is.
The hummingbird on there.
It's definitely not Joe's gear. It's definitely not Joe's gear.
Which he never got his fixed, right? Or
no, remember,
or never got it back. Yeah, he sold it. He never got it back. So yeah. Yep. Very excited because again, I just really don't know. I'm really interested to see where we go and like what Joe did. Like it seems like Joe did. I'm wondering, like, did Joe really do something bad that it's gonna be like? How gray of a character is Joe gonna be? Is this gonna be something we get to the end and we win on this? Because I feel like because they're not telling us what happened, I feel like it's gonna be somewhat damning for Joe, and they kind of want us to go this whole season rooting for him and watching him get off his feet, and then they'll drop what actually happened, and you have to sit there and be like, now I don't know how I feel. It's like a BoJack Horseman type, like, I like him, but, which is exciting.
Didn't expect that going into it.
No, I didn't expect any of these type of conversations were happening about Megalo Box to be happening for season 2. Like, yeah, they're showing off their writing chops that I didn't know they had, for sure.
Alrighty. Y'all ready for Odd Taxi?
Ooh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Odd Taxi episode 4. This episode followed a cat named Tanaka and shows us his gambling dodo-filled past. After finally getting what he wants from a mobile game, Okakara almost hits him with his cat, which causes Tanaka to drop his phone, ruining his lifelong goal. Tanaka then finds the gun inside the game of
Yep. I mean, it's one of those episodes that if you drill it down, it's very simple. But
I like the way he the guy broke down. Oh wait, yeah. Time to vote.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, I'm putting this dude in my taxi, saving him, pull him up.
I don't know if you want to ride a taxi with this man. Yeah. It's kind of unhinged.
Not this dude.
Otakawa? Yep, saving.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. What were you saying?
God, I've completely lost my train of thought. I like the way he broke down kind of like school hierarchy. It was like, yeah, if you had this, you were the coolest kid. Well, not really. That's kind of exaggeration. But if you did this, like, yeah, not really. Just like
third graders.
yeah. Just like the
And then once he got the thing, because of third grade attention span, it's like, oh, erasers aren't cool anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the pacing and writing, I think this might be my favorite episode. Well, To Your Eternity episode 1. Other than To Your Eternity episode 1, this might be my favorite episode of all these shows so far. Like, I think it was just superbly done.
Yeah.
From the subversion of expectations. So it's like, okay, so what are we doing here? It's like, okay, so this is the whole episode. It's like, okay, it's like making something like, and like they let every one of these little things breathe so much because it's such a simple story being told or whatever, but they like really let it breathe and like cutting back and forth between his present day or whatever. Like it was just, I don't know, it was just very, very, very well done.
Kind of messed up. I like taking it back a little bit when they showed him get thrown and his dad beating him. I was like, fuck.
Because it had seemed so like lighthearted up to that point. It's like, okay, he's a dumb kid doing this dumb thing or whatever. It's like, and then that kind of just hits you.
Well, it's kind of the interesting thing about the show so far, even 4 episodes in. It's like, it is cartoony. It is silly at times, but when it gets to those serious things, again, we're only 4 episodes in, so it's like we don't know exactly where the line for certain subjects really is for this show.
Right.
And they can still surprise us with where exactly they'll go.
Yes.
Especially with that last 5 seconds.
Yep.
Like, I got some chills when he did that grin and like that little chuckle thing, like, oh, fuck.
Well, even when the guy like he bumps into the guy in the street and he looks at him,
Yeah.
I got kind of chills just from like
Yeah.
the look in his eyes or whatever. I mean, like this kind of cemented like it's not like a 1-to-1. It has its own vibe, but this cemented to me that it's like, okay, calling this anime BoJack Horseman is actually not that far off. Where it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they will. It's like a comedy kind of, but they're gonna delve into some shit. And the fact that this, like, the biggest thing that this showed me is that they're not afraid to be experimental with episodes.
Yes.
It's like every episode has been Odakame and is like taxi cab every time. It's like they're not afraid to be like, nope, this is gonna be all about this other
the
random
main character was in there for 5 seconds
Right.
with no lines.
Right. And some of the best BoJack episodes was when they would just do like one premise, one very weird.
Hey, look, it's Pod
experimental
episode.
premise. Yeah, and do that the whole time. So it's like that. I love that shit, and they nailed it. They really, really did.
Yeah, and I love how they end up wrapping everything into it, because I didn't recognize the guy at first as the guy that Otakara almost hit a couple episodes back. Like, okay, where's this going exactly? Then you see what it leads to, and it's like, oh, and I can see maybe some people being like, why all that for? You know what it potentially leading to. Is like, no, I like they did all this because we get exactly like what makes this character tick and everything.
Yep.
What led them to this exactly.
Yep.
I believe that's all the characters in the opening except for the porcupine that's on the scooter.
Yeah, I know.
Every other character has been shown.
Yeah, and I think that, if I'm not mistaken, is on like the poster thing they had, or another one of the ones they have. They have like one where there's like 9 tiles with characters on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was
it
being
seems like
chased
every
by
character-
a monkey, right? In the
Yes,
opening,
yes.
I think, yeah. Yeah, so we might begin to... Yeah, so what do y'all think this leads to? Do you think this is something we've already seen happen and we just didn't know it was from him, like him with the gun chasing after him? Or do you think we've like yet to see exactly what's going on?
I don't think we've seen that yet. I
Yeah,
don't think
because we actually saw him knock the phone out of his hand in the previous episode
Yeah.
when he was rushing to go see what's her face,
The
Yeah.
alpaca.
Alpaca. So I don't think we have any resolution yet to what he's doing with said gun.
And that's the other thing. This show is just juggling so many threads that I am so interested in now, because we have did he actually kidnap this girl? Did he not?
what actually happened to it. What's going on with that idol?
Yeah.
that dating the monkey did. And I think we're getting a good bit of that next episode, because I saw a title and it had idol in the name. So
Yeah.
we might be going towards that. Or
Yeah.
at least that might be a main focus for the next one. Which, I mean, not surprising. I don't know what's going to happen episode to episode, because, yeah, like you said, they have so many threads at this point that are so interesting. Like, give any one of them to me, I'm in.
God, this show's so good. It's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah, like this was definitely. I mean, I think we should do it at the end, but this was definitely my favorite episode of the week. It was so good, so good.
Yeah.
God damn.
All right. Moving on to the next one. We have Shadow House. All right. Here's what I got for Shadow House episode 3. Miliko is still learning how things work around the Shadow House, but unfortunately her lessons are cut short when a giant suit spider monster appears and needs to be cleaned to death. Things don't go well as Rosemary is captured and nearly killed by the monster. She is saved but has to be taken to Doll Hospital to get decryptified. The dolls later hang out in the shower, and at some point Miliko learns she and Kate need to have a debut in the near future. Also, there's a scene where top shadow people are talking to their dolls, and at the end of the episode, the dolls seem to be scheming.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Alex.
I'm still saving this for now. Still interested where it could go.
Saving it.
I hear some trepidation in your voice, Alex.
Nothing's bad that's happened so far. It's just like obviously it's tiptoeing. It's building up. So I'm still waiting to see what the climax is and see if it was worth the build up to. As of right now, I'm interested and actually think all that the small little like lore that they keep leaking through the cracks in every episode has been good. Like the soot sickness, and all that. Just the soot itself can like form into giant monsters and start attacking people. That's the main reason the dolls are constantly cleaning.
Yeah, because they could actually. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what Jeff has to say because, like, this is the episode for me that got me. Like, I am all in. I
think based on last week, I was enjoying the show more than you guys. I think maybe.
I was still very much enjoying it.
Yeah, and like when they're doing it, but yeah, this showed enough stuff with the monster and everything, especially with the dolls at the end. And there's something I want to bring up that, a theory that it's not like a crazy thing. It's probably pretty straight, an obvious thing, but I want to bring it up, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's kind of like Odd Taxi, but not as good as Odd Taxi, obviously, and everything. Different. Where it's doing a bunch of threads and everything. Like, I'm interested to see all this stuff, all the lore stuff. What exactly is the monster stuff going to build to? What is with these creepy face stuff going on? We're seeing some of that. What's happening with those dolls and Shadow Lords at the end? Because it sounds like there might be something sketchy going on with Kate's debut. Yes. Whether that be next episode or the next episode after or whatever.
Yeah, it is very subtle and slow, but I feel like we have enough pieces now to where the kind of like dread and mystery has actually sunk in for me. Like I think, like Alex was saying, like the fact that they're doing all this chipper cleaning and everything because if they don't, they're all gonna fucking die because these things are gonna like come after them, and then the like soot sickness and everything, and just like how cagey they're being about like the debuts. Like we can't talk about that. And like Kate obviously seems like Kate knows that something's about to pop off, something's about to be very bad, and like she's like hiding a lot of that. Like there's enough, like you said, threads going on, and we know so little about every one of them, but it like adds up to a picture that I think like actually is giving me some of that. Like again, this is not going to be like a gory crazy horror thing. I think it's more of a subtle slow build like that, and I think the characters are actually very strong. They seem very
the characters themselves are strong.
Like they are very like cutesy anime things like this or whatever, and like they played that really hard and they want you to get very used to that.
I was thinking I haven't watched your camp or anything, Darby, so I guess I don't know how exactly they play it. Honestly, it's like, I have to imagine at least part of it for Darby, that's like, it's assuming you like this is because you seem like the cute anime girl stuff at show point. Yeah. But this seems like the kind that you'd be into because
I think they're playing the subversion very well because they make you get very used to and comfortable with the slice of life, very like kind of happy, like these characters don't question anything, everything's just happy or whatever. So it makes those moments when she's like, Lord Grandfather, and they're all like, don't say that, like that's your
what the
like,
fuck is wrong?
Like those moments where they're like, they drop the veneer and they're like, listen, you're gonna be like they're gonna come and fucking kill you if you don't follow along and everything. And like I think those little moments, like this is definitely the episode where I'm like, okay, I want more, let's go.
So dolls are actually humans, right?
I am wondering, yes.
Yeah.
Because a couple things. They mentioned when Rosemary got captured and it's hanging from the ceiling, she's like, if we don't do it, she'll hang. She'll hang to death pretty much.
That doesn't sound like a doll.
They get hungry, and a small thing that I picked up on, which, could just be nothing, but I forget what the brown-haired one, I think.
We're not talking about Rosemary.
We're not talking about Rosemary, the other main one in that group.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. Talking to Emilico, and they're talking about Emilico doesn't know how to read, but the other one knew about it when she was born. So it might be something they have knowledge from a previous before whatever their dollification thing is.
Some things got through for her and didn't for others.
Probably brainwashed kids that they're bringing on that have like similar builds to whatever Shadow Master they're like given to.
Like we're thinking, it's looking like there might be some kind of rebellion thing going on based on those adult dolls later. Plus, also another thing for the credence, the dolls obviously age, because we got older ones and all that,
right,
and they seem to get them when they're young,
right.
Where's I going? I forgot. Exactly what I was gonna say.
Maybe we'll get it back. Has anyone bled yet? Have we seen? Could I be like that? Will be like there's gonna be a moment.
I think I got scraped once.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think any blood came out though.
Oh wait, no man, I know what I was gonna say now. We were thinking this might lead to a doll rebellion, or maybe the whole thing was, or for this, the twist will be the shadows rebelled, and now the humans / dolls are gonna rebel back.
It could be there's definitely like Kate kind of shows that like the shadow people are not all like on one side and they're on like Kate
They're
obviously
not equal standing.
Yeah, Kate obviously seems to like not be super happy to be there and not happy with things that are going on or something and like trepidatious about things. So it's like, yeah, I think there's a lot to dissect here that I think is just very cool. And yeah, I think you're right. I think they probably are people. And I'm just interested to see if that was like, I think we're early enough in to seeing like the monsters and the sickness and stuff. I do have faith that we're going to see this kind of start to pop off in more ways. But even if it, I think it's going to stay at this slow pace, and I'm totally down for that because like I love how the little bit more of information we get every week makes me very interested. And I definitely feel like this was the episode that put it all together for me to where I'm very invested now.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Super Cub. Cub.
Speaking of cute animals.
Let's see. Super Cub episode 3. Kokomo and Reiko buy things for Kokomo's cub and do cute anime girl things. Also, cubs are love, cubs are life.
Very good. Very good. I'm doing all. All right, Alex.
I'll save this little girl so she can get more accessories for her damn motorcycle.
What's it gonna be next? Because it's surviving.
She got goggles. She has 2 different baskets. She got those all at once.
Well, apparently, according to the opening and literally everything else, she's gaining another friend. When's the friend coming in?
When we get level up friends.
Yeah.
Get another party member.
They have an entire Super Cub like motorcycle gang ready to like just beat up some fools. That's what I want the ending to be. Is she actually joins a gang?
Yeah.
She joins the Tokyo Revengers gang.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
The Tokyo Meiji.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets to he's like, I gotta stop them from meeting her, and it's just her and the Super Cub.
Yeah. So obviously, I figured the fun thing to do with this is just make it the description very simple, but stuff obviously did happen here.
Yes.
Her and Kokomo and Reiko become better friends, and a little thing, like a small thing that I like that shows their bond deepening is we've seen multiple times when she goes there, they kind of say good morning to each other, or Kokomo says good morning to Reiko, and Reiko's like, But during that last thing, I think the close to the end or whatever, Rico notices, goes in there, it's like, you're happy. I remember that face.
Yeah. I think it's similar to the Shadow House's pacing. I think this is not for horror, but this is for coming of age story. It's just like very slowly you're seeing her come out of her shell, and like it's just a very uplifting, cute. Coming of age.
And the subtle things are done really well, like when she was trying to speed up a little bit.
Yes.
Like, I remember Alex mentioning, he's like, yeah, she's going really, her cub goes really slow. It's like, this thing obviously solidified, that's intentional. She's purposely going 20 miles.
She was scared. Yeah.
And then the wind bothered
20
her.
kilometers per hour.
Sorry.
She was going very slow. She was fucking.
I'm an American, okay?
Well, she was being passed by cars. She was probably like everyone who makes that commute probably was very annoyed every morning. They're like, God damn it.
This girl again?
Girl. Yeah, I mean, is everyone else still as into in for the show? Do you think we'll make it the whole way? Because I am enjoying it still. I think
I'm enjoying it.
It's a nice change of pace for the rest of the show. But I understand if people.
I could see, depending like this third episode. I could see a point where this thing gets too slow, where it's like, okay, it's nothing's really happening.
I agree with that. As of right now, she's still it's still kind of progressing. I'm enjoying it. But if it hits a point where every episode just kind of feels samey, where it's like she wakes up, she goes to school, she gets a new thing for the cub, moves on.
Mhm.
I can see that being a little
The,
boring.
the point of no return is when we get multiple weeks in a row. My description is Cubs are love, Cubs are life.
But then what if by the end of it, she's like Death Stranding and has like 9 boxes stacked on top of her cub
and a body.
And she has to carry it across the United States to reconnect.
Then this is anime of the year.
I'm about to say, if somehow they are able to progress to that point, then yeah, I'm not going to get bored of this. If they somehow get to the point where she's all of a sudden smuggling human beings from east to west coast of the United States from Japan, like yeah, I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, that's good. Music still continues to be killer, I think. Like the music to scene accompaniment is very good. That's very good. Better than Mishiro's music, am I right? I mean,
What's
actually,
that?
legit, yes.
I've seen people say that's good, and I just don't get it.
Yeah. So, can't say I understand that one.
No. Alrighty, let's see here. Now we're going to talk about Tokyo Revengers. The Tokyo Avengers.
Tokyo Avengers.
Tokyo Revengers Episode 3. Takemichi stands up to Masataka and gets the shit beat out of him. But since he isn't shown a protagonist, he just won't give up. The leader of the gang, Manshiro, shows up, tells Masataka he ain't shit, and tells Takemichi that he is his friend now. The next day, Manjiro and his right hand, Kan, show up at Takemichi's school to make him hang out with them. Hinata shows up, slaps Manjiro, and tells him not to mess with her man. Afterwards, everything is chill. Manjiro tells Takemichi he likes him because he reminds him of his dead brother, as are the rules of anime. As the episode ends, Takemichi passes by the other dude he's supposed to be looking for.
As are the rules of anime.
As are the rules of anime.
So it is said in the anime Bible.
Yes.
Save.
I am saving this.
I am killing.
Excuse me, kill is in our dictionary.
I am scarring. Okay, I know, like, as I know doing this that there was zero chance that y'all were killing it, so I knew that Joran was going. Like, it was pretty.
Hey, do what you're going to do.
No,
I'm saying, yeah, if you feel like you want something, just do it.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, if I want something that I'm gonna do, and I knew that I wasn't gonna actually be a killing blow here or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I'll start off as the center or whatever. Again, it is not bad. It is not a bad show, like I said with the other things. But like it's going on like longer or whatever. This was always true, but it's just becoming to be too much. I just don't really like these characters all that much, to be honest. It kind of has that shonen anime thing that I just am not really a big fan of. I just like have learned that it's like I do like the overall plot that's going on. I think that's interesting, the going back in time for her and doing all this, but like it just like the delinquent thing is just not it's just not like super interesting for me, and it hasn't been this whole time. But like now I finally got to the point where it's like, yeah, if it wasn't for this show I wouldn't keep watching this, because it's just like the characters just feel very, I don't know, it's hard to explain, just kind of like over dramatic and kind of like it's a little too teenage boy anime for me, and so I'm like I'm just not really super, I just don't really care about the characters all that much, but I completely understand.
I am dwelling in the madness. Actually, the more ridiculous it gets, I kind of like it. There's gonna be a certain line if it gets too ridiculous, but as of right now, I'm just loving the just ridiculous of it, because it's just like the gang's doing such stupid stuff, like beating up an entire hallway worth of like students and having them lay down and just hopscotch across them and stuff like that. I don't know. Like all the personalities to me are they're pretty shonen, but as of right now, they haven't rubbed me any of the wrong ways. I've been enjoying it. I think the plot is also interesting enough right now. I still don't know, like since it doesn't seem like he'll do another loop anytime soon. going back to the present. I don't know if this will continue to entertain me, but as of right now, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Ridiculous enough. It's in. Oh god.
Oh, so yeah, I'm enjoying it right now too. Yeah, general plot. Well, we all agree on that. It's interesting. The general premise of it, and kind of more there into Alex. I'm enjoying the kind of ridiculousness of some of the delinquents' behavior a little more, and I think some of these are kind of fun characters and curious to see where it goes. Yeah, the pacing is definitely a concern for me, partly because I know this thing has like a cajillion volumes out, I think. Not exactly a cajillion, but there's a lot of manga volumes out for this thing. And so this is going to be a long-running thing.
Yeah.
So at some point, I'm wondering if it will fall into the traps of other long-running shonens and just be very slow-paced. The actual stuff happening might be interesting, but...
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of it too, is just like, I feel like we've just spent way too much time on middle school fight ring. You know, it's like, and like that whole fight at the beginning, I was like, again, I was sitting there kind of screaming. It was like, throw a punch, any punch, throw one punch. It doesn't even have to hit, just throw a punch. Like, I don't know. I wasn't like, I'm getting kind of old with the like zoom in on his face. It's like, I will do it. I won't let them hold me down. I'm gonna do it. 5 minutes later, I will do it. You can't stop me. I'm like, okay, fucking do it already. Just do it. Just go.
Give me the bat.
So he's charging up for a whole episode. It's like fucking Dragon Ball. But he's not even charging anything up. He's just an 8th grade kid. But it's not like I'm not offended that I have to watch this. It's just
one thing I'm kind of curious about, because this could just be usual shonen protagonists like vibe or whatever, but right now Takamichi thinks that Monstro is overall a pretty good guy despite being a delinquent or whatever. It's like, what leads into the whole terrible whatever gang there? And then they immediately go to we see at the end the second guy, the other co-leader that was keeping from meeting, that has the crazy eyes. It's like, okay, because I know how some of this stuff can go. It could just be very generic or whatever, but it's also like there's potential for an interesting story there, or for stuff that would potentially lead to them both being bad.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of a Monstro being just a lighthearted delinquent for the most part.
Yeah. But again, just pacing wise, like you said, like I do think that this show is going to go places with this whole time travel thing. I'm just slightly worried that we don't really get too many of those in this season.
Yeah, that's just the kind of thing that I'm interested in this, and I'm curious to see where it goes. But even potentially, like how I feel during the season might come down to if they announce how they're going to handle the anime in the future, because I don't know. I think I looked. It's maybe one of the only animes that don't have an episode count for this season.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So, because it's a long-running shonen, is it going to continue past the normal 12, 13 mark and just be like a One Piece or Black Clover, where it just doesn't stop? Or is it going to be the My Hero out with the season?
Stop.
Never.
If it doesn't never stop thing, that's where I'm going to be like, I'll just switch to the manga.
Well, no, what they're gonna do is in season 2, they're gonna go from there to the very end in that one season, and just kind of like speed it up.
Okay,
and then do a PowerPoint at the end. I think that's how they do it.
I mean, that's never failed before.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I really like the characters because it reminds me of like early like Yu Yu Hakusho with Urameshi and Kurobara like fighting. Obviously, that was a lot, just like a one-on-one, and they were both just big, tough dudes just brawling it out one-on-one.
Yeah.
This is more of a one-man beatdown, but...
Well, it's interesting to see. I haven't completely changed, so there are still things where it's like, when things get too, like, this got too much down the shonen route for me. It's like I wanted to pull the ripcord, you know?
I was curious when I was going to have it for this show. Watching this, I kind of been trying to do little games like, okay, how's Dari going to feel as the guy not as experienced? And me doing it to a lesser point with Alex. But watching this, I'm like, even the first episode and knowing how the stuff works, like, okay, when's Darby's breaking point? Because I was shocked at like how much you kind of said you enjoyed that, or like the premise of the first episode. So I was like, okay, when's his breaking point? Apparently, it was 2 episodes later.
Yeah, it was. But again, it's not a hard breaking point. I'm not like mad, but.
Well, Darby, let's see if you got to your breaking point for you to your eternity. Let me read that there summary I have. Orby and March. Orby is the orb, by the way.
Of course.
Orby and March walk around and eventually run into Hayase, who takes March back to be sacrificed to the monster bear. Elsewhere, Monster Bear attacks Perona and her guards, which allows Perona to escape. After preparing March to be sacrificed, Perona shows up to save her while Monster Bear shows up to eat them. Hayase decides she's going to leave them to die, but Orby shows up. Orby transforms back to the wolf and kills Monster Bear. Afterwards, Hayase tells them all if they want to live, they need to go with her back to her village. And in the end, Orby says his first words.
Orb OP, please nerf.
Orb appears to be immortal.
Yeah.
Unfair.
Can we
If
skip
Orb
it?
starts leaking
we can skip the
intestines.
safe part.
Yeah. If Orb starts leaking intestines, please return Orb. Please set Orb back to wolf.
So, yeah, it's, as we saw with the last episode, the more he dies, it seems the faster he regenerates. And now at the point, it's pretty instantaneous.
And we were talking, I think someone posed the question, do you think he can turn it back into anything he turned before? And no, answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that fight scene was pretty wild, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. My wolf boy go.
Oh my god. Something about the animation of this show when they do things like that is just so unsettling but so cool. When he just he takes, especially my favorite was when he was on top of the bear rips him off in his organs. Like he just rips the wolf in half and it just goes
Nope, those are mine.
Yeah. I mean, y'all love this episode too. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, that's good.
So good. So good.
I honestly thought March actually did die at first when the bear first showed up and did the SWAT.
Yeah, because
It didn't
Perona
show
got
March for a
pushed
while.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't show like March for a good while. So I thought she just died there, and they just didn't want to show it on screen for obvious reasons because it's a child.
Well, they did last episode. It was a dream. Show a baby inside that bear's mouth being eaten.
Yeah, but
and the
that's,
girl being
that's
torn
a
in
dream,
half.
So that's not true. That's not real. That's not
You're
a real
right.
child.
You're right.
That's a dream child.
Yeah.
Yeah, they this show is so weird, but it is shown that it can do the kind of slow nature shots, and it can also do heartwarming character development, but it can also do action. It can do all these different things and do them all to a very believable and cool degree. Like when the wolf shows up and you see the tree line, that was crazy. And when the I don't know anyone's name, but March's friend that was trying to save her, her running up there and then getting smashed away, it definitely has a kinetic energy that it's okay, all right, I see you, show.
Yep.
This is pretty
I like
good.
how bad hurt March's friend is at shooting arrows. Every arrow she shot in this show has not landed. Every arrow, and I just like because they initially showed that in episode 2 with her target practicing and it just bouncing off. She shot it at Army Lady. It just hits her in the forehead sideways. Then she shot it at the bear, the biggest target possible, and it still hits sideways and bounces off. And it's okay, well, maybe you need to learn a new skill because I don't think the bow and arrow.
Well, that's what she's finally gonna save. Yeah, when she finally saves them by hitting an arrow,
and she does. So
yeah, which is also interesting. What do y'all think about the fact? So this will be 3 episodes straight where we're still following the same characters. Do you think that we're going to be following these characters for a while now, at this point, or do you still think that we're going to pivot away from them at some point?
I assume for a little while. We'll
At the
follow
very
these
least, a little
characters.
while, because they are going to go to Hayase's village. So
This
I
is
imagine
a fairly long series as well.
this is a very I saw when I was looking up information to to do this summary. This this episode went up to chapter 4. Got it to the end of chapter 4 out of 120 plus.
Wow.
So this is a long series.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's also progressing very slowly. Usually, chapters in anime are 3 chapters, 4 chapters will make an episode. So they're only in chapter 4 after 3. So
Yeah, for
we're also moving on.
I wondered at first if when I saw that, oh, is this a monthly series? Then I saw, no, this series started in 2016. This is a weekly series.
Damn.
It's just jam packed with stuff.
Damn, that's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with y'all. I think that we're sticking with them. I feel like probably longer than we maybe
Initially
thought. I still wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season, like we have done a time skip at some point. Like I wouldn't be surprised if March and this girl and everything is an arc, and then the orb moves on to something else at some point. But I do think that this is going to be the arc, and the arc might span the whole season. For all we know, I'm not sure with that. I'm not even saying. I'm just kind of posing this as a conversation. I'm not even saying I necessarily feel this way, but like, do y'all have any concern over them keeping this interesting since the orb is basically unkillable? We just saw the orb go against a gigantic bear that's the size of a tree line, and it can just regenerate itself at any time or whatever. So like, the orb can't die. Do you have any concerns over them like keeping the show interesting in that way?
Everything around the orb can die.
True.
Everything around,
and they've shown how they can make it grow attached.
So yeah, that was different the way I was going to phrase it, but yes, and we'll have to see because again, this series right now is very long. But yeah, they made everything around the orb very interesting, and part of what will be interesting is seeing the orb grow as again he spoke. Yes. That's gonna be something he learns. He'll learn other stuff and all that, and grow attachment because I think the episode's called like Small Emotions or something like that. Something to do with emotions or whatever. So that was part of this. Like he grew emotions, like he grew attached to March and wanted to protect her. Right. Seeing that kind of growth is going to be also a big part of the show, even if this orb can't die, and who knows what in the world it will be able to do in the future.
It's a Superman story. It's a Superman story where you understand Superman cannot lose. The point of the story is seeing Superman like try to live a normal life. Yeah. And actually his interaction with people.
And again, the world, like we've seen technically 2 episodes of the world around the orbs, not counting that first episode because it was kind of just so small. But it's already so interesting. It's like I can see how this is interesting throughout.
And like I love that they in the little snippet from the next episode they talked about how like the tribe wants to like use the orb to figure out how to
watch the
okay well in the little snippet the tribe wants to experiment on the orb to basically find out how to
duplicate it
to have immortality and stuff or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what humans would do. They would like see this thing, it's like, oh, how can we like take it, use it, you know? It's like like, which is like, and obviously you can see how that's going to go horribly wrong, probably. So it's
probably
like, I definitely think this is a show that by the end of this whole thing, it's going to be like, holy shit, we started out with just that boy, and it's going to be something.
Well, yeah, and again, as far as episode count that we saw this season, so it's be 20 episodes as of right now.
And I think the show is going to be like, which is the smart thing to do, like the show is going to be different pockets of humanity, and it's going to be more about the people that the orb is interacting with, and the orb is going to be basically like a tool to like have some message about the humans, a message about the people that it's interacting with, rather than the orb being it's the adventures of orb. Like I expect similar to the way that March, like I expect whenever we do get new characters, or even next week, we're going to have a lot of not orb time before orb is brought in, you know.
Can orb bear? Orb killed bear, touched bear dead body. Can orb bear now?
So the narrator made a point when he transformed to the boy that he needed to be like stimulated to transform.
Okay.
At this point,
well, maybe he was sexually aroused by the bear.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would potentially say no because he didn't transform to the bear there and then. Like, it may not be
the orb knows that has to be a reveal later on in the show. The orb knows that. So.
I mean, we don't know technically how this orb works. I'm just going off what we saw so far that unless, we're probably not going to see him randomly turn to something that he previously touched later on when that thing's nowhere around.
Yeah. I would guess no. I would guess he cannot bear. That's what I would guess.
I would like orb to bear.
Oh, I'm with you, Alex. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
I saw bear and thought, hey, bear white, and that follows the theme of orb. Orb likes white,
It's true.
Therefore, or bear.
or therefore or bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, show's very good.
Yep.
Very good. Good choice, Alex.
Yes.
Because we definitely wouldn't have picked it if you didn't. But
No.
no, Alex gets to have the credit.
All of the credit. But he also picked Mashira, so that evens out.
Yeah, it does even out.
I'm pretty sure your mug would have been killed.
Yeah, but it would not have been as bad as Mashiro. Come on, it would not have been as bad as Mashiro.
I think it was worth the experience.
Well, agree to disagree, sir.
Vivy! Four Eyes Eye song. Okay.
So sorry. Am I the only one that thinks like fluoride, like the thing they put in your teeth every time I see it?
Always.
Oh yeah, I think it's like fluoride white eye song. Sorry.
All right.
Well, I guess I actually know what fluoride is, but so it doesn't throw me off as much.
Okay, I guess I'm an idiot.
All right. So episode 4. After denying being Vivy to Yuzuka, Vivy runs into Estella, who happens to be an imposter. This imposter turns out to be Elizabeth, Estella's twin sister. Elizabeth is working with the terrorist organization TOC. Matsumoto also installs Vivy with a combat program, turning her into a badass. They can't stop the ship from crashing, so Estella evacuates everyone and safely destroys the ship with the help of a defeated, rebooted Elizabeth. Vivy admits to Yuzuka she's diva. Episode 5. 5 years later, Matsumoto reappears and is like, yo, it's time to change the future again. On the way to an AI factory island, they meet a couple of robosexuals to get a virus to shut it down. On the island, they meet a bunch of happy-go-lucky robots. Naturally, TOEIC shows up. And then Nier Automata happens.
There you go. It's all fun and games until a Nier
Spoilers.
Automata happens. I already wrote my thing.
All right, Alex.
Gar for now.
Same.
Save.
Yeah.
You said same.
I did say
No,
same.
I said save.
Okay.
I said
thought
same.
Jeff said same. I was about to say, oh god, did it actually die?
I was
about
like-
to say, oh god, it's going to be the wheel where you Joran can live. I was about to freak out for a second. I was about to lose it.
I was like, no, I take it back. I take it back.
I
I take it back.
save actually.
Yeah,
I can't take it back. But, oh my god, my heart. My heart.
That was a man who really legitimately thought he had to watch Joy episode 6.
Oh my god.
He saw Yuki's
Jesus.
life flash before his eyes.
Oh.
Oh boy. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
I'm about to say, nothing in this anime is doing is egregiously bad. It's just kind of, I've seen a lot of these plot points before done, and they're just doing them very quickly. So again, I like things to be able to breathe, and like, it's just some anime bullshit going on. The characters are alright, but there's some anime bullshit going on.
Yeah, same. The pacing is starting to get to me in this. I like the idea of the story a lot. I really think that there's a version of the story that could be told really well. Like I said, it has very 13 Sentinels vibes to it or whatever. And if this is a manga or whatever, I could see the manga being like way better. I have no clue if it is.
I think this is an original.
It's
animation.
original.
Oh,
anime.
yeah. Well, either way, I'm kind of with Alex. I legitimately, and I was really enjoying the show despite its flaws or whatever, because and I still do think the general plot that's going on is good, but like the execution is just not. It's just really starting to not be there. I think, especially watching 2 episodes instead. If I had only watched 1 episode, I might not have killed it immediately. But watching 2 and then being like, okay, yeah, I'm like. The characters are starting to kind of feel like they're spinning their wheels. Like Vivy is just starting to feel like the same thing over and over again. With like meet a different robot person. What's putting your heart into it? It's like I don't know. It just felt like we're like kind of spinning, and the plot, kind of like Alex was saying, is like kind of moving too fast. I don't really feel like I get to like feel the outcome of any of the things that we're doing very well. Like I feel like it needs to slow down some. And just generally from a writing standpoint, I've just like kind of lost some faith that they're gonna keep this coherent is not really the right word, but just like I don't know, like I'm not feeling the execution feels like it's kind of like veering off in a way. Like I don't know, I can't describe it completely.
The thing I do like is that every era basically gives you a look into like basically like another like apocalyptic view of like AI.
Yeah.
But I would wish every episode had like 4, maybe even 5 episodes per like era to actually explore those. So I feel like you get very surface level like the AI immediately turning on the human whenever they come to attack and stuff like that. You like they were on that island for 5 minutes. You didn't really get to experience.
Yeah.
And so it's like the plot itself is not bad. It's just the pacing to it. Like even the writing, I think the character writing's fine right now. Like I don't think I dislike a character
No.
in terms of how they're written. It's just very quickly told, and the beats themselves aren't bad. It's just I've seen it, so it's just some anime stuff going on screen.
I'm just enjoying it. I could say a particular reason. I mean, what you guys think is not wrong. It is going pretty fast paced, but what's actually going on, I'm just enjoying it.
Oh yeah, and obviously that's fine. You can enjoy it. It's the same thing. Like Darby doesn't like Tokyo Adventures. Oh, Tokyo Adventures, fucking some whacked out shit, and I love it.
Yeah, as far as that, I can agree. Maybe Vivy's character is not developing as much as it did. I thought there was some of that going like last week, the more potential for that, and yeah, with these 2 episodes, there's not as much movement on that as you would hope. Or
I would think with a 5-year gap, I would want to see a little bit more.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Is like, there's some things change too much in these gaps, and some things don't change at all. Like some things it feels like sometimes I completely forget there's been a 5-year gap because it like they kind of feel like the same people. I know they're robots, but but they're kind of not though. They're doing they're emotionless robots, but
much sense because technically for her 20 years have passed since the beginning of the show.
Right. It's
Matsumoto, I mean, it makes sense. He's the same because to him, he's just asleep. Yeah. Until whenever.
It literally nothing changes for Matsumoto because like everything's like instantaneous. Like we finished one mission and now on to the next.
Yeah.
And time does not have an effect on it.
Again, very cool concept. I really think there's and like I'm again just like Tokyo Revengers. I'm not mad that we're watching another one of these because like I'm still enjoying it.
You'd be mad if we had to watch another episode.
Oh, I'd be furious. Like if you had killed it, I would have been like, oh no, I made a horrible mistake. I would have made a horrible mistake. It would have been a terrible mistake.
Darby, if you had the wheel, put it into the wheel and see what would have happened. Okay. What would fate have chosen?
I'll have to y'all talk while I have to get the wheel.
Okay. So how since obviously Jeff you liked it, why don't you talk about like some stuff you did like about everything? Since me and Darby just kind of shit on it, even though it's a solid show. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of small, and like you were saying, Alex, there's nothing like that hasn't been done before and other stuff. I think it's generally done well and enjoyable, if not a little fast paced. Just with the idea of at some point, I guess it makes sense. AI advanced enough to where you might have couples and all that. Just that kind of world building to it and all that kind of stuff. It took me a moment to realize as far as the fast pace go, like you guys were saying with the robots, they're like we're instantly kind of, I guess, hostile or whatever. It took me a moment to realize, oh wait, it was that virus that Vivy put in them that was, I guess, the doctor man had his own plans. He may not be an ex-terrorist like he so claimed.
Yeah.
Yep. It wasn't to shut them off. Actually made them more aggressive.
Yep.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah. Let's see what would have happened.
This is the what dies.
Can you see it spinning, Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
Jordan would have died.
All right, Jordan would have died, so we actually would have been safe.
It was actually very delayed. Like I just got Jordan now.
Yeah, it is delayed.
But okay, good.
Yes.
My little heart.
I knew going into this that I was killing 3 things or whatever, but I knew that I was killing 1 thing. I knew there was only going to be 1 shit that we all 3 did or whatever. So I knew that Tokyo Revenger and Vivy were consequenceless kills.
You must have some good faith that I was going to say Vivy.
I did.
Yeah.
I knew the only thing you were gonna kill was Jordan. I would have been shocked if you had killed. Like, I'm honestly gonna be shocked if you kill anything else from here on out. I think if things die, it's gonna be from me and Alex. So yeah, I was very confident.
I feel like Super Cub has a chance for Jeff to kill it if he gets slow enough, because it definitely has a chance for me to kill it as well.
Yeah. It has a chance.
Revengers, Darby, you're probably going to be stuck with, because I don't know.
Oh, I know.
I'm loving the bullshit right now.
I knew that too.
Yeah, even it just. Again, you seem to be okay and accepting of that right now.
I am.
But at least Tokyo Revenge for me right now, if it does continue, depending how they announce the way the anime goes, at the very least, I'll see this through and then maybe jump to the manga.
I guess you'll see an arc. You'll see if I ever stop killing it. Then it'll be like, oh, wow, hey, look.
Who writes the Tokyo Revengers manga? Like, what magazine is it in?
I have no idea. I don't know what it's actually available on.
But I would have to try to find it.
But for people that are interested, I know. Let me make sure I get the name right. To Your Eternity manga, I think it's completely available in Comicsology.
Okay.
From Amazon.
Cool.
Nice.
If you have the subscription, I think it's at least the most recent chapters. I guess I haven't checked to see if all of them, because I'm not going to read it right now. Might look into reading it after we're done with the season, but for now, good to react to it with you guys.
What's everyone's favorite episode of the week?
Put me on the spot. Let me.
Because me, it's Odd Taxi. Me, it's the Odd Taxi one. I just thought the pacing and everything was like super duper good. But I do think the usual suspects of To Your Eternity and Megalo Box out there, even though 86 is very up there for me. Even honestly, with that opening. Like, even with that opening. Yeah. If
it wasn't for the first 6 minutes of 86, it probably would have been 86. Probably Megalo Box for me. I think Megalo Box is my favorite episode.
Yeah.
I think it might be To Your Eternity for me.
Fair.
To Your Eternity? That's a good one. Good one.
Yeah, that's very fair. Very fair.
I don't know. I was really digging what all that shit's doing.
And is everyone's favorite show right now still the same? My favorite show is still Odd Taxi.
Megalo Box right now.
I had a favorite show last week.
Say a favorite show, Jeff. I'm going to make you do it.
I'll go To Your Eternity.
Very fair choice. Those are the three. We got the big three.
All three of us are different.
Yep.
And like literally, it's our favorite episodes of the week, or our favorite shows.
Yep. Yep. Very cool. Well, yeah, we got some good anime on here, boys. Yeah. All right.
But we know we don't have
Joran. Bye, bitch. Bye.
We might be getting to next kill quicker than I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not opposed to being turned back to a save on that one. Again, this was like, I knew it was a consequenceless kill. I knew I would be watching another one the second I decided to kill it. But this was also positioning out there in the world. It's like, okay, Vivy, this is where you're at. You know that you have to win back.
The animators are going back trying to fix Vivy before it launches, being like, no, it can't be not the premier anime show on Twitch.
And I also just want to like cut back on some anime too. That's another thing.
Coming into this episode, I was still on the fence. Even last week, I was on the fence about, do I cut Vivy or do I not? It is on the razor's edge. If it has a really good episode, then yeah, I'll probably keep it. But this next episode's again kind of just average.
Yeah.
Just where it's been, it's probably time.
I did honestly think there was a chance that me and Alex would flip flop, that he would save it this week and I would kill it, and Alex would be like, "Wait, what? You killed it? What?" Like, I legitimately thought that was a potential possibility.
Well, I might have spared us the only chance for the wheel to happen this season.
Yeah.
Probably
a pretty low chance of it happening again. So, yeah.
Unless Super Cub has a stinker. Unless Super Cub is just shite.
But I feel like if Super Cub gets to the point where we're killing it, it's going to be more of a slow death. Than,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think right, at least right now, you guys flip flop on BB. Tokyo Revenge has to have an awful next episode to have me or Alex flip.
Yep.
But I'm definitely, the first week I wanted Mishiro to die, so I targeted that. From now on, if I want to stop watching something, I'm just going to kill it every week. Not try to metagame the shit at all. I just want
That's
Mishiro.
what I tried to do every, even last week, I tried to make sure I'm just trying not to metagame it. I'll let the cards go as they must. Like if Vivy would have been put on the wheel, like I would have been actually mad because it would be honestly kind of interesting to see if Vivy got killed and we had to watch another episode of Joran.
That would be our King's game. We'd be like, no.
It goes on the wheel 3 times, keeps surviving. It's like, no, what could kill it?
What would have been the craziest thing if that happened and Vivy died, but then Joran's next episode is so bad and ridiculous, but Alex and I decided to keep it to see where it goes.
Because you saw the trajectory happening, and you're like, wait a minute, this is King's game all over again.
Joran is pretty bad though. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's very bad. I killed 3 things today. One is way, way worse than the other 2. Way worse. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We will be back next week with one less anime by Joran. I don't want to know what happens. See ya. And we'll be back next week. Peace.
Bye.
Smile.